What is up, everyone? JD here. Hope you're doing well today. Got an EDC update for you. Let's get it. All right, guys, I thought it'd be fun to go ahead. We're 1 month into the whole new year, if you can believe it. January is come and gone. We are looking at February 3rd as of the recording of this video, if you can believe we are rolling through it. I'm going to go ahead and kick it off with my fixed blade update. You guys know I love my Asher knives, little buddy, but I have to admit here lately, I have been carrying my Kaiser Mini Harpoon a ton. I really like this one. I have the 3V variant, got a nice coating on it. It has really held up to everything that I have thrown at it. Contoured Topo G10 scales. I know they have a couple different versions of this one, but I really like the size of this. It's a nice change of pace from the little buddy because it's a little bit smaller, a little bit lighter weight. I like the 3V. It is an edge retaining monster. The coating on here helps protect it from any corrosion resistance. I did finally find a pocket clip that I liked over there on Amazon. It was a little tricky to kind of put it in. I had to sort of reverse mount it and put a little spacer in between the clip and the actual sheath itself, and that actually worked out really good for me so far. The sheath has held up really nicely, nice retention, easy to pop out, and like I said, I really just love the overall performance of this one. If you're looking for a pocketable fixed blade EDC that's a good size, that's going to serve you well, and trust me when I tell you, is going to be razor sharp, the Mini Harpoon is definitely one to check out. I think at the price point, it punches above its pay grade. Let's go ahead and move it along. All right, we're going to just kick it off with my two modern traditional slip joints that I like to throw into the fifth pocket a lot. These are both traditional pocket knives exclusive. We have the Spear Hog, or the Spear Point Hedgehog as I like to call it. I picked the version with the jigged titanium, beautiful hollow ground S90V blade on here, beautiful spear point. I just like the overall aesthetics of this one. The slightly contoured scales make this really comfortable, a very nice user. Like, I have no bones about using this one, pushing it hard, and it absolutely stands up to it. The S90V seems to be treated really well because it does hold a really good edge, and the fit and finish on these, for the money, you're probably not going to find anything better. I really do believe that QSP is like the belle of the ball when it comes to them. The other one I got more recently, and I have carried it a little bit more because I wanted to form my impressions on this one, because I wanted to do that for the review. This one here is the Kentucky Hollerdreck. Now, instead of titanium, you have all steel construction. They have multiple inlay versions out there, yellow bone. They got a red that with a crest. They have a stag, and then they have the abalone, which I think came out absolutely stunning. Hollow ground 154 cm spear point blade. It's a very shallow hollow grind, but it's enough to make this one very, very slicey. And again, QSP's fit and finish just continues to improve from model to model. This one here is more of like a 3 1/4 finger grip for me. I like this one for opening packages, getting into mail, and things of that nature. Something very nice to pull out that is very unassuming and is not going to raise any eyebrows when you pull it out of your fifth pocket to open your mail or your Amazon package, or if you need it to cut some loose string or anything like that. Excellent little pocket dropper. So these are both modern traditional pocket knives exclusives, and those are my fifth pocket droppers or pocket droppers. All right, so I wanted to bring this one out because this one kind of bounces between being a fifth pocket and a light duty carry. So I may carry this load out with nothing else when I need something lightweight going somewhere. I don't want to carry a bunch of gear with me, or I need something that's just going to be small and discreet. So I like to use my ARC Company Quick Draw XL. This one here allows me to carry one of my titanium click pins. This one is the Big Idea Design Mini Click. This one works really, really well. I like it for this application. It suits it perfectly. I have the Mini Pineapple. This is a ray light. I have not gotten any special things for this one. I've kind of just used it as is. And I do like flashlights because if I'm working on something under the hood of the car that's a little tough to see, these will come in handy. Drop something in the car, it's hard to see, these come in handy. If you drop a screw or a bolt, there's a way that you can cut these on and turn them up, and then you can use these to kind of cast a shadow. And if it's something, that's dark, hard to see, and even shiny, hard to see, it's going to be nice because it'll cast that shadow for you, making it kind of easier to find. It has a glow ring in it, very lightweight, AAA battery application. I think I have a rechargeable battery in here right now, if I recall correctly. And that one you put into like a dock to recharge it. And then, of course, my Kaiser Nice Guy. A lot of you guys have seen this one. I really like it. It's kind of a blended. I took the 154 cm blade steel from the laminate carbon fiber and combined it with the micarta. This is like my favorite version of it, and it's just a fantastic little EDC. I can easily get all four fingers on there. It's got a nice dedicated forward choil for a trigger pull position. Going to be great for opening packages, sort of like everything else that I've mentioned before now. Opening your boxes. I have no issues with this one breaking down boxes. Nice slicey thin blade stock on that 154 cm, and you do have jimping right here in the middle. That's going to be nice for choking up again to get into stuff, or if you want, you can pull back and break down a box or something like that. Ceramic bearings in the pivot on this one, super smooth action. Let me go ahead and get on to the next one, guys. All right, so next up is my most used item, and that is going to be the Rambler XL. This one houses, I have a gray, black, and a blue one, and it houses my flashlight and a pen that I typically carry. So one of the other popular pens, I have two of them, is going to be the tactile turn. I have both the bolt action and I have the side click, which allows you to push down to open it and click to pop it back out. This one here is the slim. I really do like the updated slim version. I think this one works well. Super lightweight, nice USA made construction. It has milling on here. I don't know how well the picture will be able to pick it up, but if you listen, you can really hear that. So I do like that. And I like the updated pocket clips on these. These are really, really nice. Also, my favorite flashlight, I have three different versions of this one as well. It's going to be the Raylight Land Apple. This is the titanium frag pattern version. I don't know if it's frag or if it's just knurled. And then on here, I did get their Timascus clip. I did go ahead and install tritium inserts in all three of the barrel spots. And then on the back of the clip, it came with a shiny clip, so I did go ahead and etch and stonewash this one to match it up a little bit better. But I really like this size. It suits my hand size a little bit better. Very easy to tail click operate. It is programmable, and it does have a little glow ring in there in addition to the tritium inserts, so I really like that. In here, for demonstration purposes, is going to be one of my most carried smaller knives here as of late. It is the limited edition Concept Sibin. They only made 300 of each version of these, if I recall correctly. It has the fragged titanium. It has steel hardware that has been coated, titanium backspacer with a titanium pocket clip. This one here has a nice opening hole or fuller, and the blade shape on here, absolutely wicked. I think this thing just looks really, really cool. You got S35 VN blade steel. I was pointing at the logo, not the steel. S35 VN, nice, thin, and slicey. Nice belly to it. Came with a really good edge. I've just been stropping up the factory edge because it's worked so well for me. Nice pinch grip. The clip point drops way down here, so this is going to be fantastic for detailed work. Great access to the lock bar, ceramic Delrin style bearings that ride on pocketed washers. Very smooth action. Detent is absolute money on this one. It is a tight 4-finger grip for me. If you want me to be completely honest, I would probably say it's like 3.5, but it is contoured here, and I'm able to easily fit that. And then it is pretty thick flat scales that's chamfered very well so the frag doesn't bite anywhere. So it does still feel really nice in hand. I think this is a really great size for everyday carry to suit all your needs and purposes. Just something to, if it's a one and done even, this is something that's going to work fantastic for you. Pocket clip goes in and out of the pocket really well. And again, that lock bar access and action are stupendous. Let's keep it going. All right, next up is going to be my most carried budget knife as of late. I never experienced the premium version of the Concept Fenrir. This one here is the tenable Fenrir. They converted it to a button lock. They are using 14C28N. Full steel liners, but it does have aluminum scales on my particular version with a steel pocket clip, all steel hardware and steel standoffs. And I'm telling you, I know a lot of people talk about how well Civivi has done with their button locks. I think Concept was one of the companies that was a little bit later to the button locks, and I don't know if that was for R&D or what it was, but man, they really did a fantastic job. I've only handled a few of their button locks, Tenable and Concept, but they've all been dialed very nicely. I'm able to, again, get a nice 4-finger grip, hang off the back a little bit, but it is chamfered and knocked down so that it is comfortable because it is scale on liners. It is a little bit thicker, but I personally really like that because it makes it very hand filling, very comfortable ergonomically, and there's no hot spots. And even though this does have a little bit of a bill on there, it is rounded, so it's like flat and thick, or wide I should say, and that really does cut back on any sort of in-hand hotspot for me. The ramp up and jimping here are a nice combo. This is going to be really easy to control for you guys going through any dense material. And then they do have a nice trigger pull choil position here and right in front of the ramp. That's really comfortable. A lot of blade left for getting into your packages, but at this level and in this position, it's going to be very easy to control. And then that same choil in the pinch grip using the thumb studs here to kind of grip yourself, really comfortable positions. You do have, again, ceramic bearings with pocketed liners. So these are like those Delrin style washers. That's going to be really smooth. The pockets are going to allow you to tighten this down. There's no up and down and side to side play. It has remained locked up solid. Ever since I've cleaned it, the grittiness has gone away a little bit, but I think it's because that there's some coating going on with the button here. And I think once that coat is gone, or coating is gone, it's going to be really butter smooth from there. So I think that's just continuing to kind of work away. It's continuing to get better, but this is definitely my most carried budget knife right now. Just really like the look. The ergos on here are really, really good. The 14C28N from Concept performs very well. It's on par with what you see from Civivi, from QSP. It just needs a little bit of stropping when you go through any sort of dense, hard materials because it can create little blemishes, but the 14C28N has not chipped. If you strop it, after cutting dense materials, it takes a really quick, fine edge. It'll last a long time, sharp enough to cut through dense material. But when if you need it to do any sort of detailed, fine work, it can get a little snaggy. So you just got to strop it and touch it up. So really, really nice knife. Really happy with this one. There's a couple other tenables I'm hoping to check out, but this one was the one I wanted to get first. For 2025. I've obviously checked out others, but this one really I thought was awesome looking, and I really like the frag and clean scale combo. I think it's a really nice two-tone color. Let's move on to the next one. All right, one that I picked up here recently, carrying over the last week or so, has actually been this Monterey Bay Knives Saber Tooth. This thing was absolutely one of the best value purchases that I have seen so far in 2025. You're getting S90V with a polished satin blade, not a high polish, but it is a polished satin. You're getting flat titanium scales with all steel hardware, a reversible titanium milled clip, which I think looks really good on here. It is reversible and it does have an inset liner lock. That means you can operate this lefty for sure, and it is not going to impede your deployment because it does cover that liner up nicely. So very, very satisfying to use right-handed or left-handed. If you saw my review on this, you know my only nitpick on here is just going to be lock bar access, and right now I'm living with it. I'm trying to decide, because I really like this one, if this is going to stay around long enough for me to mod that lock bar access and add a little bit more relief cut. Once I do that, I know it's a little less desirable because it's not like a factory fresh knife. It's been modded, but the front flipper works well on it. The detent is tuned very well for that opening hole, and this fuller does actually work if you want to use that fuller. Very satisfying fuller. Nice ergos on here, plenty of space. They gave you a little forward choil. If you want to choke up on it, you can. Again, that is really super comfortable. Nice trigger position. Even if you want to choke back and use that trigger position or choked up, it doesn't matter. It's just really comfortable no matter how you're using this one. This one also has Delrin style washers that are on nylon coated, fully caged nylon with the ceramic ball bearings in them, and the finish on here has been great. Now I will say, when I went to disassemble this, it had a ton of thread locker on it. So I did try to reassemble this one without using any new thread locker. I just cleaned up the pivot and closed it, and it did start to back out on me a little bit. So I did throw a little bit of my own thread locker on there. I used the blue Loctite paste, and that worked really well. Let it sit for 48 hours, and it hasn't moved since. Really good weight on something this large too, guys. It is really a fantastic buy. They're $145. They're going to be bringing more of them in, and if you don't like the size, if you feel like the size is too big for you, they're going to be making the Wolverine, which is Sabretooth's little brother, if you know the comics. And if you don't, it's just going to be a smaller version of this one here for those of you that have those small hands. So that is coming. Let's go on and move it to the next one. All right, guys, this one I've carried a lot, and it has really surprised me. This one here is the Concept Tarkin, and the reason that it surprised me that I carried it so much is because it's a thumb disc knife. And generally, I don't really love or like thumb disc, but this one works really well. The build on it is fantastic. I like the looks, I love the ergos, and everything about it just works. I really like that thumb disc. Reverse flick works. Thumb flick works well. Front flipper really tuned well. Lock bar access is great. Again, you have those Delrin style bearings in here, ceramic, and they are on pocketed washers. Good lock bar access. This one's a little bit thinner, but I like that because I feel like this is a little bit more of a gents style carry. Still hardware, titanium backspacer and pocket clip, steel lock bar insert. And it does have an internal relief cut here for that lock bar, but it just works really well. Now, I did feel like mine was tuned a little light, so I did tune it up ever so slightly. I like a little bit of a stiffer detent because I do have a lot of strength in my fingers, so I like for it to hold in position just a little bit longer while I ramp up. The steel on here is 20 CV. You got a nice satin stone washed finish on here. It does have a little spot for choking up as well, which I like, and you land right on top of the thumb disc, which is really flush with the entire knife. Nice thin and slicey cutting geometry. I did strap it up, and when I go to sharpen this one, I'm just going to ignore the subtle tanto that's on here and just go all the way up. I don't think that there's any change in geometry that I can tell, so it'll end up just being a drop point when I'm done with it. But good, comfortable forefinger grip, slightly contoured scales, a little thin. If you like them thick, this one might not be for you, but this one's a little bit of a thinner, lighter weight gents carry for a titanium knife. It's a lighter weight carry, but just really a fantastic model. I really like it a ton. All right, one that I have carried an absolute ton ever since it came out, and I know this is a different version than what I started out with, so I am combining the carry between the two, but I did have the polished blurple finish that was on here, the high voltage blurple, and I really just kind of have been enjoying the flamed anno a lot. I know it's making a comeback, right? But I have like 3 knives right now with the flamed anno, but 20 CV with a hollow grind, great utility blade shape with a little bit of a belly. Beautiful large foil choil on here. It's really comfortable. The spoon here is really great for me to land in with the thumb. Got a swedge here to reduce drag. Good lock bar access. I know it looks a little tight. This one, like the Tarkin, is thinner, but the lock bar access is great. My goodness, is it smooth. It has nice stamped bearings from the factory, but I did go ahead and upgrade to a set of skiffs. The detent on here is perfectly dialed. Not as heavy is what I have tuned the Tarkin to, but it's like right there within a scotch of it. It is really well tuned for the thumb studs. I like the hardware being satin to match the thumb studs and the blade itself. This pocket clip works great. It's very comfortable, choked back or choked up. I fit in there. It is a little tight, choked back, but it is chamfered, so it's not like it's a hot spot. I can just kind of feel the swell coming up onto the back part of my middle finger, and then you can choke up if you want to. I end up kind of using the ring finger and the pinky finger, and then just leave this off for my middle finger, and then again in the trigger position, choked up, very comfortable. You can choke up all the way if you want, and then again you can choke back and then slightly choke up. Just a great knife. The hollow grind is stupid slicey. I mean, this thing is an absolute laser beam no matter what it is that I'm cutting through. And I personally really like the design on this one. I know it's probably like a love it or hate it design, and I think that was kind of the same thing with the Wii Roxy 3 that I had and the original Hyphen. I think some people just really didn't like the look, but in use and in practice, it's actually such a comfortable design, such a useful blade shape, such a sweet grind on here. I mean, it is so thin, guys. This thing is an absolute laser. I haven't laid the edge back because it's been holding its edge really well. If I had to guess, I would say this was somewhere between 20 and 22, just guessing. I think laying it back to like 17 to 19, which would be disgusting on this knife here, would be so slicey. I like this one a ton. This has definitely been like one of my most carried knives for 2025 so far. All right, last knife. Not going to spend too much time on it. It is the Vero Nova, guys. You've seen this one quite a few times, a lot of pocket checks. I think it's been in a couple other videos. This one is Best Tech manufactured. It is Magna Cut at 61 to 63 HRC, I think it was, or maybe 61 to 62. I may be misstating that. All titanium frame lock with a titanium pocket clip, all titanium hardware, full length backspacer made out of titanium with a lanyard through hole, which I think this is Vero's first design with a through hole on there. Super slicey, even though it is large, and it is definitely heavy. This is like over a 6-ounce knife if I recall correctly, but tuned really well. The reverse hole pocket works. The thumb flick pocket works. It is a little awkward at first until you get used to that front flipper because of the thickness of the knife, but not for the faint of heart. Again, a very big knife. You can see I'm not all the way forward choked up, and I still have room out in the back. Nice jumping back here. So this is definitely more full-sized for sure. I'm not going to spend too much time on that one because it's been in so many videos for sure. But let's go ahead and bring them all back out here while we're winding down. I am affiliates with most of these, so if you decide to use the affiliate links, it'll help the channel. That's totally up to you if you want to do that. If not, totally understand. At the very least, though, I would ask if you enjoyed the video on your way out, if you could hit that like button for me. If you're not subscribed, definitely consider subscribing. It does help the channel and the algorithm. And if not, I completely get it. I appreciate you hanging out with me. While I did my little update here of all of my gear and such. I'm not going to pull everything out of the pouches and everything because I'm totally running out of space. But like I said, links below. If I have discount codes, I do for Tenable, I know, and I know that I do for exclusives from traditional pocket knives. So, you know, those codes are either JD10 or JD for EDC usually, or it'll be beside the description though to help you if you're interested in that. A special shout out and thanks to my channel members. You guys are amazing. I love you all. I'm out of here. I hope you have a great week. I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.